Every spring, across the forests and riverbanks of Canada, a quiet ritual takes place. Foragers pull on their rubber boots, grab their baskets, and head into the woods searching for one of nature's most curious offerings. They are called fiddleheads, and for centuries people have been eating them, celebrating them, and sometimes suffering because of them. But what exactly is a fiddlehead? Where does it come from? And why does something so beloved, so rooted in tradition, carry a warning that most people never hear until it is too late? A fiddlehead is not a plant in the way most people think of plants. It is a moment. A fiddlehead is the young, curled shoot of a fern, specifically the ostrich fern, caught at the very first stage of its life, before it unfurls into a full frond. The name comes from its shape. Look closely and you will see it. The tight, scrolled head of a fiddle, a violin. Nature, it seems, has a taste for music. They appear for only a few short weeks every spring, usually between April and June, depending on where you are in the country. In New Brunswick, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and Ontario, they have long been a seasonal tradition, a sign that winter has finally released its grip. Indigenous communities across Canada have harvested and eaten fiddleheads for generations. Early settlers learned from them, and today they show up at farmers markets, in fine restaurants, and on dinner tables across the country. So far, this sounds like a charming spring story, but here is where it gets complicated. In the spring of 1994, health officials in Canada and the United States began receiving reports of a strange wave of illness. Dozens of people, in some accounts nearly 500, had become suddenly and violently sick after eating at a catered event. The culprit, after investigation, turned out to be something almost no one suspected: fiddleheads, raw fiddleheads, served at a buffet, eaten by people who had no idea that this cheerful green spiral could be anything other than wholesome. What happened to them? Fiddleheads, when eaten raw or improperly cooked, can cause food poisoning. The exact toxin responsible has not been fully identified by scientists, which in some ways makes the story even more unsettling. We know it happens. We have seen it happen repeatedly over decades. But we cannot yet point to a single compound and say, that is the villain. What we do know is what happens to the human body when things go wrong. It usually begins within a few hours of eating. First comes the nausea, a creeping, rolling discomfort that builds quickly into something much worse. Then vomiting, then stomach cramps, the kind that double you over, then diarrhea. In most cases, the illness passes within a day or two. But for vulnerable people, the elderly, young children, anyone with a compromised immune system, it can become serious very quickly. And here is the question that should sit with all of us. How many people, right now, this spring, will pick fiddleheads for the first time, toss them into a salad or a stir-fry without proper cooking, and spend the next 24 hours deeply regretting it? How many of them will never even connect what they ate to how they feel? The problem is not the fiddlehead itself. The problem is a persistent, dangerous misunderstanding of what it takes to make one safe. Many people assume that because fiddleheads are a natural food, a wild food, a traditional food, they must be safe to eat in their natural state. That assumption is wrong, and it has been making people sick for a very long time. So what does safe preparation actually look like? What is the difference between a fiddlehead that nourishes and one that harms? It begins before the fiddlehead ever reaches the kitchen. When fiddleheads are harvested, they are often covered in a loose, papery brown husk, the remnants of the fern's protective coating. This husk, along with any dirt or debris clinging to the surface, must be removed. Carefully, thoroughly. This is not a quick rinse under the tap. This is a deliberate, attentive cleaning, holding each bundle under cold running water, rubbing away what does not belong, making sure what goes into the pot is as clean as it can be. But washing, as important as it is only the beginning. Because washing alone will not make a fiddlehead safe, not even close. The next step is heat, boiling, proper, thorough boiling, in salted water for at least 15 minutes. Not a brief blanching, not a quick toss in a hot pan, boiling. And here is the part that surprises many cooks, even experienced ones. The water you boil fiddleheads in should be discarded. Pour it away. Do not use it as a base for soup. Do not save it. Whatever it is that makes raw fiddleheads dangerous, boiling draws it out, and it ends up in that water. After boiling, the fiddleheads can be sautéed, roasted, added to pasta, stirred into a soup, but only after. The boiling is not optional. It is not a preference. It is the step that stands between a delicious spring meal and a miserable night. Why do so many people skip it? Because no one told them. Because the fiddlehead, curled and green and pretty, does not look dangerous. Because tradition sometimes passes down the joy of a food without passing down the caution that should accompany it. Because we live in an age that romanticizes wild food without always teaching people how to prepare it responsibly. Every spring, fiddleheads appear at markets across Canada. They are sold loose in paper bags, bundled with elastic bands, sometimes with a small tag listing a farm name or a region. Occasionally, there is a note about how to cook them. Often, there is not. A person who has never eaten a fiddlehead before might take them home with nothing more than curiosity and a vague memory of someone saying they taste a little like asparagus, a little like spinach, a little like the forest itself. And that person might cook them beautifully, carefully, correctly, and have a wonderful meal. Or that person might not know what they do not know. And that is where the danger lives. A family sits down to a meal together. On the table, a bowl of properly cooked fiddleheads sits beside other spring vegetables. The story of the fiddlehead is, in many ways, the story of our relationship with wild food itself. We are drawn to it. We crave the connection it offers. To the land, to the seasons, to something older and more honest than a plastic-wrapped package on a supermarket shelf. There is something profound about eating a plant you found growing beside a river in the woods. Something that feels like it matters. And it does matter. Indigenous and traditional knowledge around fiddleheads is rich and real and worth preserving. The taste of a properly prepared fiddlehead, nutty and bright and green, is genuinely worth celebrating. But that knowledge has always included the understanding that preparation is not just a suggestion, it is the whole point. The elders who taught their communities to harvest fiddleheads also taught them how to cook them. The two things were never meant to be separated. The ferns, now fully unfurled into tall green fronds, sway gently in the evening wind. The window for harvest has closed for another year. So this spring, if you find yourself standing in front of a bundle of fiddleheads, at a market, at a roadside stand, or perhaps in the woods with a basket in your hand, ask yourself a few things. Do you know what you are holding? Do you know where it came from? Do you know how to prepare it properly? Have you washed it carefully, boiled it thoroughly, cooked it fully? These are not complicated questions. They do not require a degree or a culinary education. They require only attention. Only the willingness to take something seriously precisely because you love it. The fiddlehead has been growing in the forests of this country for longer than anyone can remember. It will be here next spring, in the spring after that. It asks very little of us, only that we treat it with the same care it has always deserved. Fiddleheads should always be washed thoroughly and boiled before eating. Raw or undercooked fiddleheads can cause food poisoning. When in doubt, cook them longer.